Hey Alfonso, let's take a look at this new set of essays you sent us. Okay, an interesting one. So it's a combination line graph and pie chart. So let's see what you said. The first graph is a line graph which shows the total special trade zone member income in US billion dollars between 1990 and 2000. The second graph is a pie chart which shows the global market share exports of 9 different countries in 2000, both according to the IMF World Bank. Okay, fine. The total member income between 1990 and 1991 remained stable at either pick one, either its or the lowest point at 122,000 US billion dollars. From 1991 to 1993, there was a slight increase. Careful, no LY here. 2 without the up, 133,000 before reaching its highest point at 177,000 US billion dollars. Between 1998 to 2000, there was a little fluctuation. Let's check your data here. 1998, there was a little fluctuation. You could have basically said that from 1997 to 2000, the figures plateaued, with the exception of 1999 where there was a minor dip. So that's probably how I would have said it here. But because this a little fluctuation, it's not really telling us accurately what happens. When I think about a little fluctuation, I think of not just one up and down, but like multiple up and downs. And you don't really have that here between 1998 and 2000. Really, you just have like a fairly steady number. And then just this tiny little dip in 1999, okay? So while words like fluctuation are great and they're very, very useful in lots of contexts, I don't think it was the most accurate way you could have described that trend there. Regarding the pie chart, Benzeland got the largest amount of exports at 90,233, closely followed by Jamesland and Andyland at this and this, respectively. Timsland, you don't need an S there, Fredland and Herbertland were between this and this exports, okay? While Darrenland had 46,900, Peterland got more than a third fewer. Careful, this is a little awkward. Got more than a third fewer at 14,000. I'm not sure I understand that. So Darrenland had 46,000 and Peterland had 14,000? Darrenland, orange, yes. And then you're talking about this guy here, I guess. Okay. So that doesn't really quite work. Let's see how else you could have said it. I think the problem is this got more than a third less. It's actually, while Darrenland had this number, Peterland had only around a third of that figure at 14, etc., etc. Joeland at this was a country that exported the least. Well, that's an interesting. What's going on here? 12, 12. I think you wanted to get rid of this first 12. So careful with the accuracy of your data, okay? Overall, the total income of the Special Trade Zone members S increased by almost a half over the 10-year, no S here, period. Regarding the pie chart, Benzeland and Jamesland got the biggest, largest exports, while Peterland and Joeland had D, the lowest in 2000. Let me look at this. It increased by almost a half. You have to be really careful with that kind of data. It didn't increase. Did it increase by half? Yeah, I guess it did. Okay, so half of 120 would have been 60, so that's actually accurate. It increased by about 50%. So that's quite true. Good. So you did it correctly. All right. It's good. You covered all the key data. There was a little bit of awkwardness when you talked about the exports, about the getting exports. It's not really share exports, global market share of exports. Yeah, so I didn't really care for the word got there in that context, and I think we replaced it with some other different vocabulary. I think had was a more appropriate choice. But on the whole, it was good. So no real problems. Okay, let's take a look at your task 2. Computer education is compulsory. Is this necessary, or will they acquire these skills naturally? All right, let's see what you said. Experts from both the developed and developed world have debated whether computer education is necessary in schools or if it is a skill that children will naturally acquire by the interaction with technology everywhere. All right, I need you to really be careful here because you basically took the exact words that were in the prompt, you just kind of rearranged the order. You really don't want to do that. You're giving the examiner an idea that you don't have vocabulary of your own, and so you're basically lifting the language from the task. So try to avoid this and really try to replace it, at least some of the language, with your own words, okay? So, for example, or if it is a skill that children naturally gain because of the presence of technology the ubiquitous presence of technology in our lives, okay? So something like that would be a decent rephrasing of this, okay? Personally, I agree with the idea of a computer education. All right, get rid of A. So I agree with the idea of computer education as a compulsory subject in schools. This essay will argue how this education can be beneficial using examples from the UK government and Oxford University. Okay. All right, good work so far. So let's take a look at your first body paragraph. There is ample evidence of how children might make a we don't use a, so a use of. So it would just be might make irresponsible use of computers at home. The reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, many parents use computers as a way to make sure children do not disturb them, so they let children play for unlimited time. Secondly, computers offer a wide range of activities, from video consuming on YouTube to playing video games. So there is a risk since they might consume adult content with violent or sexual scenes. For example, an extensive study led by the UK government stated that 78% of parents allowed children to use computers more than 12 hours on weekends, and just 9% checked on what type of content children were consuming. Therefore, it is clear that without computer education, get rid of the A, those can be a risk for children. Okay, I'm a little confused about this paragraph. I think what you're trying to say is that this is why children must learn how to use computers, because if we just let them use computers on their own, they will learn how to use the wrong things, essentially. I think this is what you're trying to tell me. Unfortunately, if that is what you're trying to tell me, you didn't really say it until your very last sentence. So what that means is that I didn't know what the central idea of this paragraph was until I got to that last sentence. This isn't too difficult to fix. Essentially, you need to have a clearer topic sentence, okay, where this sentence is more or less mirrored in the first sentence of the paragraph, okay? So I would recommend something like, if children are allowed to develop computer skills only from their at-home use, this could lead to multiple negative results, okay? And then you can get into all of this, and it makes a little more sense that way. But you have to explain that the whole reason behind this is that this daily interaction with technology doesn't bring about a good result. Okay, on the other hand, the advantages and benefits, well, there's no reason to say both, just either advantages or the benefits. So, on the other hand, the benefits of introducing computer education in school, I don't know why you say teaching methods. I would have gotten rid of this. Cannot be overstated. This is largely because computer education will enhance children's computer skills, making it possible for schools to use more engaging ways without the A of teaching by using computers. This will also allow schools to make the act of learning more attractive by introducing interactive, no S, materials to teach children any subject. For example, get rid of the and. Empirical research by Oxford University showed that children who received computer education and used it, it's one thing education, as a tool in schools increased their performance by 21%. It is also stated that children's '(S) engagement was 43% higher than the engagement of the children who had not received computer education. Thus, it's possible to state beyond doubt that the benefits of computer education overcome the drawbacks. Okay, let's move on. So from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that schools should introduce computer education as a compulsory subject, full stop. It will benefit schools teaching schools teaching methods and also children's '(S) engagement. And at the same time, children will learn to make responsible use of them. It is predicted that when schools become aware of the potential benefits, they will introduce this type of education at younger ages, not sooner. Okay, so we fixed some of the grammar, we fixed some of the vocabulary, but we do have to look at some of the task achievement in this essay. Let's take a look at it. Okay, I just read through your essay again, and I'm okay with the second body paragraph. Like I said before, this had some problems for me because you didn't really make it clear what you were talking about until the very end. But on the whole, it was okay. It's a lot of the word choice and the grammar that is more of an issue for me than anything else, okay? So just be aware of some of those errors that you're making grammatically and lexically, and go ahead and correct them in this essay, okay? Looking forward to seeing what you're going to write next, so good luck with it.